and it's time for another 2014 Spring Anime Season First Impression. Today I'm going to be talking about Isshuukan Friends, or 1 Week Friends, or Aaron cries on the couch like a baby every single episode. Though there are 3 episodes of this series out, this first impression is based off of the first episode alone, so let's get started. In this slice of life anime brought to us by Brainspace, Yuki is a boy who's determined to befriend his classmate Kaori, a girl who is always alone. She continually rejects his offers of friendship because every single Monday, all of her good memories, including those with her friends, disappear. Despite knowing this, Yuki decides to befriend her anyway, and they become friends again and again. So if you're looking for a slice of life anime this season, then stop, sit your pooper down, and prepare for feels, because 1 Week Friends will meet all of your needs and more. Sweet, charming, and simple, the series had one of the strongest premieres of the season, and considering how many amazeballs anime just started, that's saying a lot. For an anime that is practically designed to be a tearjerker, the writing does an excellent job at not forcing emotions onto you, instead allowing your feelings to react on their own, with well-written dialogue and endearing characters, and a story that is much more about them and much less about amnesia. In fact, Kaori's amnesia may be the reason the story exists, but it is not the point of the show. This isn't an anime about memory loss. It's an anime about the development of a relationship where memory loss happens to be a factor. This does bring up what is probably the biggest drawback for a lot of people, which is the reasoning behind Kaori's memory loss is a little too gimmicky and reliant on suspension of disbelief. But with how natural the rest of the series feels, it's hard to focus on this aspect for long. The directing is fantastic, with a pacing that achieves a slow build without ever being boring. Every action and every line of dialogue is simple, yet done with a purpose. The first time Hase asks Kaori to befriend him, we smile at how sweet it is. When he asks her again in the final moments of the episode, the payoff is wonderful, and it leads to a much more bittersweet smile, if only because all we can taste is the salt from the tears streaming down our faces because of how sweet it is. The character interactions, be them between Kaori and Hase, or Hase and his brutally honest bestie Shogo, are such natural and believable exchanges that losing yourself in their conversation is easy. The cast themselves are sweet and endearing without being annoying, and their chemistry shines. An aspect that I absolutely adore is that unlike many other shoujo series, or just stories in general that have a similar premise, Hase isn't trying to befriend Kaori simply because he wants to do like butt touch and stuff with her. I mean, sure, and he even openly admits this, the first thing that interested him was her pretty face. However, once he saw how isolated she was, he wanted nothing more than to fill her void of loneliness with friendship and see her be happy. Granted, it is definitely alluded to that some kind of romance is on the horizon, but with how organically the relationship between the two progress in a single episode, this prospect is something more to look forward to and be excited about than roll your eyes and sigh in exasperation at. I know I wouldn't mind if the two ended up together. They're freaking adorable. They're cutie patooties. Though I also kind of want them to see, I just want to see them stay friends. I don't know. They're cute either way. That's all I'm trying to say. As for music, from the beginning moments to the absolutely adorable opening to the fantastic build at the end when Hase makes his final friendship declaration of the episode, the soundtrack continually hits the mark. Art-wise, pastels and watercolors paint the series with a subtle beauty in a way very reminiscent of Bunny Drop. And the character designs are hella shoujo, but also hella adorable, with mouths and noses that are barely visible at times, but eyes that are so expressive that the rest of the facial features aren't particularly necessary. That sounds really weird, but it's true. Side note, Haseyuki is my favorite character of all. He's so adorable on so many different levels, from his facial expressions to his clothes that are too baggy and his mused hair, and his voice actor is also really good. Voice acting all around is really good. I should have mentioned that before. Everybody's voice actors are, yeah, really good. Overall, 1 Week Friends is a must-watch of the season. It's subtle and calming, and while it may not have mechs and volleyballs and all sorts of fantastic posing, nothing wrong with that. I absolutely love every single one of those. It still holds its own against this power-packed season. The characters are fantastic, and already the writers understand the correct way to pull at one's heartstrings without pandering. I highly recommend this series, especially if you love Natsume Ujincho and Bunny Drop. K-pop. This is a show that the atmosphere of it is highly reminiscent of those two series, and if you haven't watched those two series, you need to be doing that anyway, because those series are fantastic. If you would like to watch Isshuukan Friends, there is a link in the description down below for you to go and try out a free 14-day trial of a Crunchyroll Premium membership, which means you can watch all of the feelings of adorable and sweetness in 1080p without ad as it airs every single week. It's pretty great. Yeah. Okay guys, that is it for my first impression of 1 Week Friends or Isshuukan Friends. Isshuukan is much funner to say. Let me know in the comments down below if you are watching this series and how you're liking it. I think it is definitely, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Maybe I'll get some pressure and hate for this, but it is definitely my favorite of the season so far. Though, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that because JoJo's and Haikyuu and Captain Earth are also tied with it. So, you know, it's one of the favorites. Let's be super indecisive. That's me, happily indecisive, decisively Erin. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like more of this weirdness, go ahead and click in the description down below where you can find all of my social media. The ones I use most often are Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and my anime list. Is there something else? No, that's it. That's it. Not my anime list, Hummingbird. I use Hummingbird a lot. You should definitely go and check me out all over those. Yeah, ouch. I hope you guys are having a fantastic anime-filled day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye! Oh, overall, 1 Week Friends is a much-watched method. Is that Hase isn't trying to be friends with Fen. Today I'm going to be talking about with mouths and noses that are hardly simply because he wants to do some nasties with her, aka be lovers. Yuki is a boy who is determined to become friends with a girl named Kaori. A girl who's a girl. Yuki is a boy who is classmate. Why can I not get